I know that as a psychiatrist, there's a rule. You cannot have sex with a patient, a former patient.
Ever.
Psychologists are a little bit different. What is the rule? Is it?
I believe the rule is 2 to 3 years after you ended that therapeutic relationship with your client. So there is an ethical gap there.
So is there ever a time where, in your opinion, it would be okay? You're a relationship expert and therapist.
Yes.
Is there a time where, look, 2 people could fall in love in that scenario? I get it. Because also we're talking about different things here. You might be going into a therapist for talking about a very minor issue. It could literally be, you could be forced to go into a therapy session because your dog is driving you crazy. And
I feel like there's a deeper issue there, but I get it.
What I'm asking
Yeah,
is there ever a place where at some point down the line it would be appropriate?
I wouldn't advise that at all.
wouldn't either.
Because that boundary, you talked about that power play. You're always going to be in a position of power, even when that relationship ended, right? And you're going to know so much about them, and you don't want that in your potential relationship moving forward.
I mean, as a therapist, your license is in jeopardy.
Yes, your livelihood.
It's hard to realize it when you're in it, but just realize as a patient, like she said, no touching. Your therapist should not touch you. And also your therapist should not be talking about themselves. They shouldn't be telling you about their problem and saying, girl, I can relate because let me tell you back in 1992 what happened to me. So that's
Very
inappropriate,
true.
right?
Yeah, very, very much so inappropriate.
Can we get back to one thing before we go to break? Sure. We were talking earlier in the show about millennials and how millennials have to juggle so many different things. So what's really interesting about today's day and age is you could go see your therapist. 30, 40 years ago, it was easy to leave and not see them unless you were going into therapy. But nowadays, via social media, everything else, everyone is 2 degrees of separation away from one another on social media. So it seems much more conducive now to, oh yeah, hey, I have a great Facebook page, and it could even be a Facebook page for your practice, and then the next thing you know, you friended each other on social media. Those boundaries have blurred.
Yes, yes.
And is that appropriate? Is it not appropriate? There are a lot of physicians out there who are very active on social media and have relationships outside of the clinic with patients on social media. That changes boundaries. This is never before seen. These are never before seen circumstances, and no one knows how to navigate it.
Yes, so we need to rewrite the script a little
We
bit.
do.
We
12% is too high. What I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kiaundra, but if you are going to see a therapist, and whether it is a marriage therapist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a counselor, and you feel uncomfortable, you feel like there may be some element of them taking advantage of you, quit.
Yes.
Quit that relationship immediately. If it's inappropriate, you report them to their board.
Yes.
Because they're probably doing it to other people as well.
Absolutely. You should never be all, hey, baby, how's things going? That should never happen in your therapy session. There may be some times where you have a little light touch. If someone's breaking down, they need a little bit of a containment, but it should never be physical proximity where it's inappropriate.
But we do want to acknowledge that there are some fantastic psychiatrists and psychologists out there, so we're not saying that that's not
the majority.
But
the great majority. And you can confide in them, put your trust in them. But if that little bit of you is a little concerned and it's not a good fit, there are plenty of others, therapists
and report
out there.
that person too.
Report that person. We'll actually have links on our website if you do worry that maybe you're in I'll call it an abusive relationship with your therapist, where you can report them and seek help.